Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted, man. What the fuck?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 93 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Tyler.
I'm Brooks.
I'm Kalen.
Dan is back.
And we are happy to have the return of both Dan and Kalen for this episode of the Topless Robot podcast.
Donkey Kong.
How dare you speak for me?
Yeah,
I am
my
at best
dog.
mildly pleased.
Dr.
Very, very good reason for us to have Kalen on this week is he, like many of us, is an Adventure Time fanboy. And Adventure Time Distant Lands premiered on HBO Max this past week on the 25th.
What if you
Can't talk about it yet because I haven't seen it yet, and you dare not! Don't you fucking ruin this for me?
We are welcome to Ryan and Kalen's point-by-point breakdown of the implications of everything in that first episode of Distant Lands.
All the spoilers and all the Easter eggs, all of it. Got my
There's
list.
not going to be a single censored word.
Before you guys start, I'm going to get in my car and go over to Brooks's house. That way he can't just leave the call and get away from this.
I'm just sliding in the chair.
We'll clockwork,
Listen and you'll learn!
we'll clockwork orange him so he has to
Yeah.
say.
I mean, I could be napping behind these shades. Don't really know for sure.
I think
I don't know y'all well enough. Are you guys into Adventure Time?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I have not finished it. I do enjoy the show, though.
and Dan doesn't enjoy anything.
No. Dan's like, oh, they know me so well.
I think I will. I was very happy with it, and I imagine Kalen, you probably were as well. We both kind of geeked out a bit.
Yeah. Thursday morning.
Yeah, it was a well-deserved return of Adventure Time. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel tacked on. It doesn't feel out of place. It is
Lose a step.
Yeah, it was perfect in my opinion.
It was. No, yeah, I think people were rightfully concerned that maybe it would feel obvious that there was some different creative forces in it, and it was being resurrected when it shouldn't have been. But it was beautiful. The people who work on the show love the show.
Yeah, and there's
Is
some
it all the same creators?
Adam Mucho came back. And a lot of the people who do the voices, like Nikki Yang and stuff, they also write, I think.
Yeah, and Pendleton Ward did a voice, but he hasn't been involved in the creative direction of the show for a long time. There were some fun guest voices. Anthony Birch and Ashley Birch were guest voices on it. You'll know Ashley Birch as as Tiny Tina in Borderlands, as the main character in Horizon Zero Dawn. But also she and her brother, Anthony Birch, used to do a web series called Hey Ash, What You Playing?, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
What
that's
voice
right.
did she do in
What's that?
What voice did she do in the Adventure Time episode?
She and her brother were the two thieving bugs.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Now the whole episode has been spoiled for Brooks.
There's bugs.
Yeah.
And they thieve.
Brooks is just going to grab a gun off of his desk.
I don't have anything that cool on my desk.
No, let's be honest. It's probably like a flintlock pistol.
Yeah, right. It's going to be one of those muzzle
Wear
loaders.
sunglasses like that.
He grabs his After we spoil him, he grabs his flintlock and puts it in his mouth, but somehow he still misses because it's a flintlock.
It's a Colt 1840. It's not a flintlock.
Wearing Terminator sunglasses, you gotta have something.
So, aside from that, what else is going on this past week? I genuinely can't remember because, here we are, fucking week whatever of the pandemic.
Well, we brought up that Mixer is going bye-bye.
Oh, yes, that's right.
It's disappearing.
So that is really interesting. Microsoft is dropping Mixer and instead opting to Facebook. So like Mixer and Facebook are merging for game streaming. And
Isn't that,
Ew.
yeah,
that's such a weird decision with Facebook getting fucking dropped by a lot of publishers everywhere. Like there's been a lot of, like, Zuck's lost a shit ton of money because publishers and brands have been dropping Facebook because of their stances towards the current political climate.
Yep.
And two, wasn't Ninja wasn't he the exclusively broadcasting over Mixer?
Yep. So
Like,
that brings me to the other part of this is Ninja last year took a $20 million exclusivity deal from Microsoft to broadcast on Mixer exclusively. Some of the smaller Mixer partners are going to be coming with this shift to Facebook gaming, but there are two high-profile exclusive partners, like Ninja and one other one who I think got paid like $5 million or something like that for an exclusivity, who are now free agents and they can stream wherever and they don't have to give any of that money back. So they made out like fucking bandits.
Jesus. So back to Twitch, I'm assuming.
Yeah, most likely.
And that's the
They
thing,
got
like, it was
paid.
speculated that a lot of these people would know that Mixer was doomed to fail in the first place, but they didn't care because they were going to make so much money just by taking the contract.
Yeah.
And they're so
They're getting
big.
paid without having to stream anymore.
Yeah, and they're so big, it's not like they have to worry much about losing that viewer base or
Yeah.
anything. Like
Yeah,
Ninja's
they'll be fine.
kind of graduated beyond the platform, unlike a lot of streamers out there that have to, be streaming 24/7 or whatever. So, yeah.
I see his merch just like around in stores. It's weird.
Yeah, it's funny because literally no one I talk to watches him.
I know, right?
That's because you don't talk to 12-year-olds, Ryan.
Oh.
Which is good.
Or should you?
Yes, that is correct.
I don't know how is Facebook planning to upgrade its tech or anything for that, because as someone who has to use Facebook for my band page and streaming concerts and everything on there, everything on Facebook is broken. One week it works a certain way, and the next week it works a completely different way. I'm curious to see how the infrastructure for streaming and having that many people watching, how they're going to handle it, because they try to spread themselves too thin as far as I'm concerned. Nothing really works very well on
They've
Facebook.
tried to put some focus into gaming content and implemented a lot of the things that they've seen other peers or competitors do, like Twitch. You can cheer and shit like that and pay for chats and that sort of thing. But what sucks is, of all the streaming platforms, the one with the lowest streaming quality is Facebook. Actually, just video in general. I don't even know if they support higher than 720p yet. It's kind of ridiculous that they're trying to get people to take them seriously as a viable video platform when I can upload 4K videos, 4K 60 frames on YouTube and do the highest quality possible on YouTube. And Facebook is stuck 10 years ago.
Looks bad. It sounds bad. I know they own Instagram. Are they going to try to incorporate that in any way? Instagram, you can only stream vertically. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if Mixer is going the way of the dinosaurs, that probably Microsoft's and they're partnering. I'm assuming Microsoft's going to bring their engineers in and help them improve that platform. There's no way that they're going to sink a platform that had been making them a little bit of money, and two, move to a new platform without upgrading, you know?
Yeah.
You would hope, but I'm not quite so optimistic.
Microsoft thought that's stupid.
I mean, I would be surprised if Facebook is willing to put any resources towards upping that at all right now. And Microsoft, like, I don't even know what this partnership is supposed to look like, right? Like, is this going to be Microsoft functioning under the Facebook umbrella, just bringing what they did to Mixer to Facebook, just Facebook branded? Or is this just Microsoft going, here, take all of our streamers?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know, like what is this going to look like? And we probably won't know until next year is my guess. Because there's no way they've got, like, you know, they just announced this last week. There's no way they've got, you know, some sort of notable, viable product that's going to be releasing, you know, to coincide with it within weeks.
Unless it's a deep state plot to take out Twitch.
We're all forgetting the real question. What's going to happen to our sparkle points or whatever the shit that we kept getting?
Oh, the fucking Sparks.
Sparks.
Yeah.
Sparkle points is from Parks and Rec.
Facebook handles streaming like they do every other person on their platform. They're never going to ban anyone, so anyone's going to be able to go there and say whatever fucking you want and not get banned.
Yeah. Oh, the corporate dystopias now.
So the new Facebook streaming service will be the new home of white supremacists everywhere.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Like the double-edged sword of censorship. Like, I think it's absolutely a good thing on some of those streaming platforms because you have to keep those shitheads away. But also, like, some high tier shit posting is not allowed.
Yeah.
Under Twitch TOS.
Yeah. Speaking of Twitch, I wonder if now Dr. Disrespect will come out and be like, I am going to be streaming on Facebook Gaming exclusively.
What?
They need to just stop being such an asshole.
Yeah.
Did they say what happened to him?
No.
That guy, because I don't know who that guy is at all.
So Dr. Disrespect is a guy who used to work for Activision, I think. He used to work on the Call of Duty games and then got like put on this persona of Dr. Disrespect, who's like just super exaggerated, you know, competitive gamer, with a mullet and a mustache and sunglasses.
It's a wig mullet, though, right? It's not a real mullet.
No, it's a wig mullet. And it's a fake mustache, too, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I've never watched his content. I know that he came under fire last year when he live streamed from the men's bathroom at E3. He got a temporary ban on Twitch from that. He was suspended on Twitch for that.
Was it because of from the bathroom, or is it because
it's a violation of people's privacy?
In a bathroom, Tyler.
I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure if it was because it was at E3 or if it was because of the bathroom.
No, it's because you can't have cameras in a bathroom.
People who weren't even consenting to be on his stream were just kind of pissed.
It's a different kind of stream.
Tyler, do I need to contact your roommate and my son, Kalen, and let him know that you don't know it's illegal to have cameras in bathrooms?
I just want to see. I wanted to see where Twitch's priorities were. I'm not sure.
I will tell you one thing, Tyler, is surprise, surprise. Twitch does not want dicks out.
Okay. So my new Dicks Out for Harambe podcast that I'm going to be not good for Twitch.
I have to go check what year it is that meme is still outdated.
So there's Tyler keeping up with the Zoomers right there.
Tyler, Harambe memes are more dead than Harambe at this point.
Too soon. Dr. Disrespect.
Not in the slightest.
So yeah, word is that Dr. Disrespect is permanently banned from Twitch, and he learned about it midstream and said something along the lines of, "You guys will weather this storm," and then cut his stream.
That's like being fired in the middle of selling a car to somebody. That's hilarious. Fuck you, get out!
Did he?
Anyway, it's a great
say
car.
to get fired.
So no one knows why that information just has not come out yet. And actually confirmation of it being permanent it has not even technically been made, but word is that it is a permanent ban. People have speculated that it's due to this recent wave of DMCA takedowns that have hit Twitch. That Twitch has been struggling to manage because they've never had so many DMCA takedowns issued in such a big wave before. And they have confirmed that it is not because of DMCA takedowns. So people are now speculating that it's because he cheated on his wife with a viewer. And there is this new wave of streamers being called out for sexual abuse and things like that. So they think, people are speculating that this occurrence was problematic, making him a problematic person in the space, and they're lumping him in with all these other Me Too accusations that is ending basically I want to say a surprising amount of streamers' careers, but let's be real, probably not very surprising.
Or no.
If he's actually abusing somebody, then yeah, fuck him. But if it's just infidelity, I think people are like really unreasonably mad about infidelity all the time.
No, I agree.
Like, people want to like kill and ruin lives over infidelity. Like that's excessive.
We've all had bad relations. Yeah.
And it comes down to when it happens in a public figure in a public way. So in the case of Dr. Disrespect, his wife has been a part of that fan club. The viewers know who she is. And the second that, the viewers know who your partner is, they take ownership of that relationship. And they take ownership of who you are and who they expect you to be. And so the second that you step out of line with that, you lose favor with your audience, and it's fucking ridiculous.
That's partially expected. But if that's the case and it's just infidelity without abuse attached to it, should that result in a permanent ban from the streaming platform?
It really depends. No. I don't think it should.
I don't think it should. No,
definitely not.
However,
trying to discourage anyone from reaching out to their fans, and like it's an abuse of power when you have millions of people and you're soliciting
that. I also understand
relationships from.
But until he would actually do something like that, you can't. Like if that's something they're trying to avoid, you can't condemn somebody for something you think they might do. You'd have to wait for him to do it and then ban him.
It's also,
otherwise you're preempting a crime that was never committed.
He's also under contract with Twitch as an exclusive streamer. So what's in that contract may restrict, certain personal behavior. And if he violates those personal behaviors outlined in that contract, then, or if Twitch finds a way to blame him for, or accuse him of violating one of these, guidelines, then that's that,
That would surprise me a whole lot less. Like if there's contractual obligations, we don't know what those stipulations are. So that wouldn't surprise me at all.
You'd think if it was a contractual obligation that they would have come out and said it already. The way that they're treating this seems like it's something a lot more sensitive and something that it's like they're getting their ducks in a line before they come out and be like, okay, this is like, look, you did some shitty things, and we have to make sure we're getting our statement correct.
But the self-same thing that could have been a contractual violation could be something they have to prepare a PR statement for. So I think it could still be the same thing.
I do want to bring up that what Kalen said with like being in a position of power and taking advantage of that as like and being able to and creating relationships with your viewers. I mean, isn't that something that's kind of happened forever in entertainment? Like, but I mean, the other way around too, with like groupies going, like, how can you really regulate that? Because like with groupies and bands and stuff, and a lot of the times people love to do that. They like to be that person that goes in.
Right, but that is an antiquated view. Like that behavior is antiquated, and we're holding people to a higher standard. It is extremely predatory. The old adage of being a rock star was to get laid. But the thing is that you are in a position of idolization. And if you are in a position of idolization or perceived power, then the power dynamics of that relationship are abusive.
Yeah, it's like the prime directive for entertaining. Well, maybe not the prime directive. But
I understand that they can be very easily abused, but what's the requirement then? If you're a personality in any way, the only people you're allowed to date are people who don't know who you are?
No.
Like if the relationship is inherently abusive by virtue of its own existence, like is that disallowed forever?
I don't think so.
No. Handle that.
I think that like if you start talking to someone and become close with them, sure. If you are using it as a way to cheat on your spouse, no, that's abusive. That if you're using it as a way to get laid at all, like if that's the purpose, that's abuse of that power.
But a lot of these streamers' viewers are underage. There's been a lot of abuse
for sure. I guess I just don't really
and grooming as well.
Grooming and taking advantage of that, and like taking advantage of young kids. That's all horrible. But I agree with kind of what Dan is saying. Like, where's that line that it becomes like if you like, hey, I am this person, and like kind of are a predator towards other people. But there's also the other way around where it's like fans of bands, they want to go and meet you, and they want to might want to go after you sexually or to create a relationship. And are you like, is it really your responsibility to say no?
Yes.
And does it make you a bad person?
Absolutely. It is your responsibility to be the fucking adult and understand the power that you wield and the mismatched power dynamics and be responsible about it. Yes, it is absolutely your responsibility.
Right, but it's only an abuse of the power dynamic if one of the parties is objectively harmed in some way. Like, how do you spin that? And don't get me wrong, I know people abuse their power all the time and they need to be checked. But like trying to make a blanket statement of it's an abuse of power to get involved with anyone who's aware of your persona, like it is a fan specifically, like, oh, we're walking a real tough line there.
It is a tough line, but a good example. Eddie Burback has a huge audience, refuses to date anyone who knows who he is. That's really kind of the extreme responsible thing to do.
What about girls that like to, or guys that like to date people that are in bands, or girls that like to date people that are in bands or musicians?
Look, musicians are the lowest on the fucking totem pole unless they're filling arenas. You don't have to worry about a mismatched power dynamic.
But is it?
I'll be sleeping on your couch if you date me.
but that's the same part of the conversation, right? Like, is it the musician's responsibility to say the only reason you're talking to me is because you're a fan of my work, so it's my responsibility to turn you away? Go date a musician who you don't like.
No, I think that there's nuance to it, as with everything. There's nuance to it. And that lives in the space of like, look, if someone is approaching you like a fangirl, then it's your responsibility to slow them down. If you just start talking with someone and they do know who, because there are always going to be groupies who aim to have sex with rock stars or whatever and shit like that. In those cases, I think intent kind of plays a big role in that. If someone is, you hold as much responsibility to shut down a fan who only wants to fuck you as you do to keep yourself from just using fans to fuck. You know what I mean?
It depends on what you want to get out of it. You know, like if you're just trying to fuck, you know, it's gross. But if you meet someone who is a fan of your work and then you foster a genuine relationship with them, you know, it's to a point where, you know, you met isn't so important. But if you're just, run through everyone.
I mean, it's gross.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily makes you like a predator. It's just you're not a great person, if that makes sense. Like, there's a line between, like, if you're fame and people want to have sex with you, I think that you're allowed to do it. It doesn't make you a good person. Maybe it even makes you less than a moral person, but it doesn't necessarily. I think that there's a line that you have where it's like, this is predatory. This is gross. Like, there's a difference in those two statements. That makes sense.
Yeah, we definitely have to define what, like, being, like, morally reprehensible behavior versus, like, morally incorrect behavior. You know what I mean? Like that whole, like, just sleep, if you're out there trying to sleep with people, then that's what they're gonna do. But I feel like it's up to the individual entertainer to, like, kind of define what they're going to do in that regard, and then just kind of stick to it. You know what I mean? So like that one guy who said he wouldn't even date anyone that knew who he was. Like, you know, he defined that as something that he wanted to do because he felt that was like a comfortable distance. But I feel like if someone is just going out of their way to use people and not seeing them as people, in the cases of, you know, some of these folks, then I think that's bad behavior. But it's really, really hard to define, like, what specifically is wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think about because, you know, the conversation around celebrity interactions, like Aziz Ansari got, you know, called out a few years ago, and, you know, some other performers and things like that, where everything that was described in that situation sounded above board until the date itself, where he didn't take no for an answer, and, you know, things like that. But the way that they met, the way that they talked, was like they met in as equals, and you know, it didn't, like, she didn't seek him out because she was a fan or anything like that. It all seemed like, you know, everything was kind of equal in the way that she described what led up to their date. But he ends up being called out for an abuse of the power dynamic in just, you know, not taking no for an answer, like basic shitty date, you know, kind of stuff. Like, and I shouldn't say basic shitty date stuff, but like it is kind of basic shitty dude stuff. Like every guy, you know, has had a moment in their lives, or probably a large majority of guys has had, you know, time in their lives where they pushed when they shouldn't have pushed, or, you know, shit like that. I know I'm guilty of it, mostly when I was a fucking teenager and in my, you know, in my early 20s. But, you know, it's something that, like, everything that he was getting called out for was stuff that I know other guys to have done in their youth, and just in not being able to separate the penis thinking and the brain thinking.
It wasn't malicious.
Right. And it wasn't like an overt, like, he wasn't exploiting his position in the entertainment industry in order to do that. So, but he was still called out for it being, you know, like, how dare you not know this power dynamic? Because, and now that I think back to the story, she felt like she couldn't tell him no because of who he was. And so that's where the waters get muddied. So even when you're being pursued, and I can't remember if she pursued him though, now that I think about it, but like even still, like there are consent lines, right? And when you reach those consent lines, when there's a power imbalance, the person who you're with, regardless of what even field you feel like you've been on to that point, may feel obligated to say yes when they'd rather say no because of the power imbalance.
And I think that comes down to the pursuer versus pursuee kind of thing. If you're the pursuer in a what you think is an above board relationship, but you do have that power dynamic, then you definitely have to think about that and just understand that, you know, you're a rich, powerful entertainer that everyone's heard of. You should be careful with how you pursue that relationship. But if someone's pursuing you you obviously still have to be a little bit careful, but I think that's where that nuance comes into play, where it's like, it's not that you can't have sex with people that are not in your class range, you know. It's just you have to be careful with it, and you have to understand that there is that power dynamic, and at least kind of tiptoe that line as much as you can. Because the
moral of the story is you don't have to live in a cave, but check yourself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting conversation and a sad conversation. It sucks that we have to have it, but it is, you know, just one of those things. I think there's a lot more gray area than a lot of people think. And maybe as a white male, maybe I also don't have to, not thinking about it as much as a lot of other people do, but something to, it's interesting.
Well, I don't think you being a white male has anything to do with it. I think more so you don't have to think about it as much as other people have to think about it because you're not famous.
Yeah, talk to us when you're famous, loser.
Hey, wait, I thought that's what this was. I'm not famous. No. Why the fuck am I even doing this? I thought I was going to get dicks off of it.
You know what? Guess what? We're flipping this. You're going to be the one sleeping on Kalen's couch.
Oh, damn. That's not even a couch. That looks like a bed. Kalen, are you asking?
He is asking, Tyler, because he's being responsible with his fame and he's not demanding.
And if you say no, I'll accept it.
That's consent, baby.
Oh man.
So switching topics, the Steam summer sale is going on right now, and Dan and I were talking. It's the first time that I feel like we've seen a sale that had like anything noteworthy or any sort of significant discounts in quite a while. Because, you know, it used to be that these sales would come up and it's like, well, fuck, I'm going to buy every single GTA game for $2 and I'm going, you know, like just ridiculous discounts. And they kind of acknowledged that because people started talking about like Steam, you know, game exhaustion and shit like that. And then their sales just started to suck. Like they were piddly discounts, and they started focusing on community events. And the community events were for shitty, you know, profile stuff and fucking points and emoticons and shit. So,
I can get new avatars.
Ooh.
Here we've actually got like some pretty decent deals this time around. I ended up picking up Doom Eternal Deluxe for PC. Picked up Noita for how much was Noita? Like $12 or something like that. Damn. And picked up Deep Rock Galactic and all the DLC for that.
I wonder if the Steam sale is also in Ireland.
Oh God!
Yes, the great nation of Ireland, where we have many listeners.
Ireland.
The Steam sale this year it's swole. It's really really good. I picked up some stuff that's been on my wish list for a long time, and for crazy good deals. It has been like 5 years since there's been a summer sale where it's just like, whoa. Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that is they finally have a competitor in the market. Two competitors, kind of, with GOG and And
I don't know, man, because like when they had no competitors, they had better sales.
but that was, towards the
But they
beginning.
became complacent.
I mean, it's been 5 years since we've seen good deals, and before that, Steam was relatively new.
I'm pretty sure. So Steam was relatively new in 2007 or 2008 because I've had it since the beginning, and I think my anniversary date is 2008.
Okay.
Congratulations.
The reason that they dialed back those sales was because people were complaining about Steam burnout. Like, they actively said that was why they were changing the way their sales worked. Because when they had sales, it was insane. And people started complaining about it because that was every sale, which meant it was at least 4 times a year that people were draining their wallets on like 500 games that they never played.
Yeah.
Fucking boo-hoo. Have some self-control and don't spend your money, you goddamn idiot.
Yeah, that's a weird reason. Oh man, your prices are too good, Steam.
That's all you have to do. That is, you literally just default is don't spend money. Like, you don't spend money by default. You have to make yourself spend money.
Ryan sitting here, it's like doesn't comprehend like loading bars.
It wasn't like Steam was sending shock troopers into your homes and like banging your head on the keyboard. Buy more games. Have you seen these?
So there is a sale on the Mega Man franchise. Mega Man 0ZX Legacy Collection is $22.49. Mega Man 11 is $14.99. Mega Man Legacy Collection is $5.99. Legacy Collection 2 is $9.99. Why?
The first one is the better of the 2 legacy collections.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mega Man X Legacy Collection is $9.99. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 is $9.99.
Oh, that's why the Mega Man collection.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, what the
But even
okay.
still, the first half of that is better.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Borderlands 3 is only $30 right now.
Yep.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, there's a
Do they
lot
have
of
the-
real good sales.
Wow. Yeah, Jesus, these are awesome. This is the best Steam sale I have seen in a very long time.
Ukulele is $8.
Fuck. I actually might have to get it.
Kalen, if you keep that up, if you keep looking that disinterested, I'm calling the Steam police. They'll make you fucking spend that money.
They'll upgrade my computer so I can play some games on it.
The Steam police, they'll empty your wallet today.
My PC is chugging the Discord right now. Just for it.
So yeah, Deep Rock Galactic is $22.49, and considering it just recently hit 1.0, that's a pretty good deal. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is $38.99. I've been really trying to convince myself not to buy that.
You'll never play it for more than like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
You will not finish it.
When has that stopped me?
Oh my god.
I know, but this, I'm telling you, don't waste your money. Just don't do it.
But I want to play
Football
it.
Manager 2020.
The game Ryan won't
Ghost
be
of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is. I'm really looking forward to that. But Sekiro looks so good.
I finally looked a little deeper into it now that it's actually going to be like it's just around the corner, and I'm fucking pumped beyond belief.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks very, very cool. There is a Team 17 published game that I have recently started playing the demo of because it doesn't come out until July 14th, but it's called Neon Abyss. And it looks very cool. It's basically like a Binding of Isaac run and gun.
Is it on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dead by Daylight's only $8 right now.
Yeah, but if you want all the DLC, it'll cost you over $100.
Oh shit, that's a lot of DLC. Well then.
Like seriously, I looked into it. I was like, man, I haven't bought any of these killer packs. Like the only ones that I have are the ones that I got for free. And a lot of these are awesome. Like I'd love to have, Ghostface. I'd love to have, Freddy, and especially the new Silent Hill stuff. And so I was like, fuck it. Everything's on sale. I'm going to add all the DLC to my cart. $75.
Jesus.
Just the DLC on sale right now.
How long has that game been out?
4 years. They just celebrated their 4th birthday.
Wow.
Wow.
I've played it a few times at the grid. I enjoy it.
It's great.
But I don't know if I want to drop $75 on it.
I mean, you don't have to. Like, that's just the killer packs. Like, that's all the DLC packs. Like, you can play it. But if you want if you want to be able to play as every single killer, it'll cost right now $75, and that's with some of those DLCs on 50% off.
From what I've heard about that game, that'd be a waste for the most part. Most people aren't going to play more than a few killers. They're going to find the ones they like and be, that's what I play every game now.
Yeah, that's fair. And especially considering there's like an upgrade path, right? That sticks to a character, isn't it? Or does it stick to...
I've never played it.
Okay.
No.
I know that there's an upgrade path, and I don't know if it sticks to the character or class. Like if it sticks to killer, your upgrade path for killer is that, or if
I know there's different perks you can unlock, so that's probably part of it, like individual killer perks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
They should have a Killers like the band DLC to go with that.
Oh my God. That'd be almost as random as Smite doing an Avatar Last Airbender skin collection.
I cannot believe they did it. I can't believe it. It's because of that fucking resurgence from Netflix popularity, I guess.
Oh yeah. I actually kind of love it. It's kind of great.
No, I think it's cool. I just never would have thought that would happen, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised after they delved into the pits of degeneracy and got the Ruby skin pack.
Yeah.
Well, I finally finished watching Avatar, and that was fucking rad.
Was that the first time you watched through?
Yeah, my first time through, because I was like just a little too old for to be catching that on TV, and I get the hype 100%. It's fucking
It's so
rad.
good.
Yeah, I need to actually finish watching it. I've started watching it a million fucking times, and I haven't watched all the way through.
It's tight as fuck.
I love Legend of Korra, and people who say that Legend of Korra is bad are wrong.
Yeah,
Legend of Korra is so cool.
Didn't get the hate
It's
about
like-
that.
It's like the perfect like JoJo's kind of follow up to Avatar with some of the plot lines. It's kind of like it's weird and rad and different.
And ridiculous. It's like a futuristic, or it's like kind of like a steampunk society, but with bending, and it's awesome.
100% more prog rock.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of steam,
Almost.
speaking of punk, maybe we should go a little bit more cyberpunk, because it's a whole bunch of shit.
Hey,
Segway!
go action segue.
Nailed it.
Just like the owner of that company, you drove that Segway right off the cliff.
I forgot about that.
Delayed until November.
Which sucks, but we got a whole bunch of new gameplay get bids and a new trailer, and it looks as fucking cool as I mean, everything I've seen, it just looks amazing.
It looks
I've
great.
taken this stance multiple times. If you've already waited this long for something and a couple more months pisses you off, over yourself.
Yeah, for real.
And did the next gen consoles come out?
In November.
Pubic hair.
Okay, so that's kind of cool, right? Is it going to be launched with the next gen consoles also?
I honestly don't know. I know that on both of the next gen consoles, Cyberpunk 2077 will, like, if you buy Cyberpunk 2077 for PS4, you get a free upgrade to it on PS5. If you buy a PS5. And they're doing the same thing with Xbox Series X, but Xbox Series X is more of a core system functionality thing where if you are playing a game that's available on Xbox One X and Xbox Series X, if you're playing it on Xbox Series X, it basically, whatever system you're playing it on, it'll give you the best version of the game available.
That's cool.
I like that.
Which is
I like that a
easy
lot.
enough to do at this point, considering discs are just a formality.
Yeah, right.
We only package these because some of you old people like them a lot.
You goddamn 30-year-old boomers.
It makes a better gift when there's a CD.
I like the real game because it has value.
Even though you're still just purchasing a license, and it's effectively the same thing.
Up on your
Yeah.
shelf up there.
Hey, you don't even get the benefit of like just being able to start the game immediately. You still have to download it and fucking install it.
Yep. Increasingly so on Switch as well, with these day one patches and shit. You get a fucking cart and you put it in, and it's like, update needs to be downloaded and installed. It's a 5 gigabyte update.
Never bought anything day one.
Smart man.
Yeah.
But then that just means that you have more updates.
It's true.
Yeah, but considering nobody releases a full game anymore, you may as well just wait.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god, your dog is so cute.
Dr. Octagon. What up?
This is now dog stream for the rest of the stream.
Hashtag dog stream. Oh my god, he's so cute.
Did you say his name is Dr. Octagon?
No, just Dr. Octagon. But
You missed a fucking opportunity, Kalen.
I know. Long time ago.
Well, dogs don't understand English. You can change it to Dr. Octagon now. So
What
You'll never know the
do you
difference.
shorten it to when you're calling him?
Doctor.
Doctor? Doctor.
Changing
Dr.
Dr. Octagon.
There's a horse in the hospital.
So, Kalen, it's been a while since we've seen you. How have you been faring through all of these pandemic-y days?
It's been a while. Sorry.
Yeah, I've just been in music, but still practicing with the band. We've done a bunch of live streams. We released a music video a couple. Shit.
Yeah, that was over a
few
month ago
months
now.
now.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Eternity has passed.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to answer your question. Snailmate's been going strong. We're releasing new merch and music and writing and stuff like that. Myself, I've just been in a lot of video games. My job is still closed because we're a music venue, so anything.
I feel your pain.
So,
I know.
have they even like tried to open with the pandemic at all? Like,
No, my boss, he is very aware of everything. He doesn't want to put anyone in danger. Our clientele is very old. A lot of them are Republican, so they want to open, even though they will be the first to die. But no, our boss, one of his best friends got coronavirus and fucked him up because he was an old blues player. And so my boss isn't taking any chances, which I appreciate. Thought of like bartending to a socially distanced packed crowd. Sounds like I wouldn't make any money anyway. So I miss working. I miss bartending. I miss playing shows, but worth it.
yeah,
Worth it to not die.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Especially in
Getting
Arizona,
worse.
where today we just had our highest single day increase in new cases.
Hey, we're number one. Actually, not number one.
Snailmate back.
No, we are number one.
Yes.
We're still number one.
I thought Florida took that crown.
Florida can take that crown because they've got more people living there. We are still the highest in terms of like per million. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We live in a brainlet state.
It's fantastic to see those scary Florida numbers, though. 10,000 new cases today. 10,000 yesterday. Oh,
Yep.
Jesus.
And we're going
Cleaning
to
out
end up
air
passing
filtration.
4,000 in the coming week. We went from 40,000 to 50,000 cases in like a few days, and now we're over 60,000 cases. Like, it's ridiculous.
I was looking at
It breaks my heart because we used to have this great dive bar up the street from our house down here, and it got replaced by a shitty sports bar called BKD's. Fuck you, BKD's. And the parking lot is full pretty much every day.
Oh!
downtown Gilbert people hanging out the fucking windows. Like,
Yeah.
You get asked to play shows pretty regularly, and are you fucking kidding me? You're open right now, and you expect a concert? Where people?
Yeah, no way.
I've been seeing
the bar that died was a Hangar 9, by the way, Brooks.
Oh yeah, I loved Hangar 9.
It died a long time ago now, over a year. It's rest in peace.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah, I've been seeing some bands playing at like Time Out Lounge and shit like that, and I'm like,
John's.
what the fuck are you doing? Oh my god! Yeah. And technically speaking, I've said it before. Technically speaking, bars are not allowed to be open in Arizona. They have not given bars the okay to be open in Arizona. But there is a loophole in if you serve food. And in serving food, you're now a restaurant and you're allowed to be open.
I won't say which place did this because I like going there, but there was a cigar bar that my parents went to during this, and they had boxes of pizza on the counter and said pizza may be cold, and that's how they're getting around it.
That's so ridiculous.
They're encouraging people to grab pizza.
Well, let's be honest.
They're not even really encouraging people to grab the pizza. The pizza's just there, so technically they have food. They don't give a shit if anybody eats it.
Yeah.
Just
So what you're saying is we can go smoke cigars and eat cold pizza.
Yeah. Good.
And there's another place that a friend of mine pointed out to me where they're kind of like an upscale-y sort of place where they were a restaurant until 9 o'clock and then they become a nightclub after 9. So, it's not uncommon for bars to have a late night menu or whatever. But when you suddenly produce a late night menu during a pandemic, it's like very obvious what you're trying to do. So in order for them to keep doing the nightclub shit, they implemented a really shitty late night menu. But they made, to their credit, it's a pretty menu. And that way they can stay open without keeping cooking staff on for another shift during the nightclub period.
As much as it is the restaurant owner's fault a little bit, whose fault it is completely? It's Doug Ducey's. It's our fucking leadership.
Oh, yeah.
These stay-at-home and close laws from day one have been filled with loopholes and exceptions and bullshit like that, just because Ducey never intended for it to close the state. He never wanted to. It was like, if he actually wanted to cause some bit of change, he would have added some teeth to these fucking stipulations and laws, but he never did, because he's playing to his base, which is a bunch of old, fat, stupid Republicans that are the same people that are running around wearing their masks on their heads, acting like this is a big political fucking statement to say fuck you, libtards. Look how like it's shameful. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. People are dying. People are getting sick, and it's our fucking local government's fault, and it's fucking stupid.
Did you guys see that they made up the FTBA, the Freedom to Breathe Association?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god.
Laminated cards with full spelling errors.
Yep.
I wish my bar was open so I could have someone present me with that card.
I know,
just
right?
imagine what I would say to them.
Everyone point and laugh at the idiot!
Have like a bell or like a siren, like, here's another stupid idiot.
So what pisses me off is Arizona closed around the time that many other states, like shortly after many other states in the country closed down. These states were closing down in reaction to seeing what was happening in New York. None of them were really experiencing huge outbreaks. We were not experiencing anything huge at that time, enough to be worrying, but, so you close down then. And you stay closed until you can, and you implement, travel restrictions and things like that in order to open safely. So you're not like ruining the progress that you made on actually getting cases down during that closure period. like each state is dealing with it so drastically differently that each other state is a threat to any other state if anyone travels, from state to state. That's why we're starting to see like Americans are no longer allowed to travel to the EU because of how poorly the coronavirus has been handled here. But the right thing to do was look at New York, go, oh shit, close down, stay closed down. Unfortunately, so many places have opened up and just opened up, like just outright. And now Arizona, Texas, Florida are going to be the next New York. So it's not, like we should have been learning from what happened in New York. And instead, all we did was delay what happened in New York. And Florida's brilliant way of recognizing that they fucked up and recognizing that bars are the source of the problem in this, because gathering areas in enclosed space where people are tightly packed is a major source for spread. What does Florida do? Do they admit that they fucked up, but they don't close down. They make it so you can't serve alcohol in bars anymore.
Yeah. Bars are still open.
So what this is at a legal level, what this actually means, and the intent behind it could not be any more transparent. What this means is the government is not forcing you to close your business. So if your business closes because it can't make money, it's not the government's fault. It's your fault for not finding a way to make money. So that way the government has, the Florida government has no responsibility to try and inject money into that to keep you afloat until all of this is safely passed.
Their governor just talked today too and said the vast majority, of course there are new cases, but the vast majority are people from age 25 to 44 who are all going out partying. We're not going to add any more new any more new policies. Basically the summary of today's fucking press conference.
Every other country on the face of this planet seems to have been able to deal with this. Well, save for fucking, where is Bolsonaro?
Brazil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And guess where?
Brazil last month.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and we're supposed to be on tour right now. We had a 2-month tour of the States booked. We've been canceled at because no one can fucking get their shit together.
Yep.
We were gonna tour the EU later this year, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna, you're not gonna be allowed to do that.
Travel bans.
I don't know when we're ever gonna be able to tour again. America has the worst response to it, and people just keep making it worse.
Yeah. At this rate, it's probably going to have to be next year.
I'm just hoping that we get a vaccine and that actually helps slow everything.
I know there have been some, hopes in treatment. There have been, some low cost treatments that have looked promising. But we're not going to be through this for quite some time. Sorry to remind everybody that, but.
Our president.
In case you needed a reminder.
Slashing the budget for testing.
Yeah, that's
doesn't want to test anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have no positive tests, there's no cases, obviously.
Because remember, he was joking about slow down on the testing.
No. Then he tweeted afterwards. He doesn't joke.
Yeah.
He doesn't kid. Fucking dumb.
You know what? I imagine that's how he had children. He had no idea that his wives were ever pregnant because he refused to test. No test. No, she's not pregnant. Just all of a sudden I got a kid.
Hey, on the bright side is we found a big brain way to lower rates on teen pregnancies.
Yeah. Stop testing.
Stop testing.
God.
There are no teen pregnancies in our country.
It is the
0%.
Teen
the
births,
ultimate conclusion of the abstinence program.
Yes. Denial and ignorance are the solution to all of the world's problems.
Yes, America.
We did it. USA, USA.
God.
If
Oh.
you look at the wall, you can't see what's standing behind you.
We are all the bug bladder beast of Thrall now from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We're one step away from becoming that, because the bug bladder beast was so dumb that it thought that if you couldn't see it, it couldn't see, or yeah, if you couldn't see it, it couldn't see you. So if you put a towel over your head, it couldn't see you because you can't see it.
So basically, we just have to get rid of our object permanence.
Exactly.
We'll be babies playing peekaboo. You close your eyes. Nothing's there. You just never move your hands away so you don't get surprised.
Oh, God.
I'm not president anymore.
can't tell because the low res, I'm crying.
We must laugh because otherwise we would die. I was gonna say cry, but
This has been a bummer.
Yeah. So I guess now is as good a time as any. Hey guys, what was the highlight of your previous week?
I was just going to say, I mean, of course this podcast was a bummer. I'm back.
Yeah. We started at the bottom. I didn't think we could go that much lower, but
The barrel is infinite.
Started at the bottom, now we're here.
that's not how this song's supposed to work.
Plummeting to new depths every day, gentlemen.
Ooh, is that the name of the podcast? That might have
Plummeting
to be
the depths. But no, seriously. Let's do the week highlight thing. What's been the highlight of the week? You want to
Have a confession.
Go on.
I bought Skyrim on my Switch.
You
I've just
what?
been playing that. I bought Skyrim on my Switch.
Oh no!
And, that's all I've been doing.
You've met with a horrible fate.
You should have had it put on your.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
When I look in the mirror, it's only Todd Howard staring back, not my own reflection.
Oh, you are.
It's just Todd Howard whispering by Skyrim again.
This
By
is what
Skyrim
happens.
again.
This is what happens when we don't talk on a more regular basis, Kalen. You don't have the positive influence in your life to steer you away from such reckless decisions.
Friends don't let friends
Live
buy
less than a
Skyrim
mile
again.
from me.
I know, and we haven't talked all that much.
So responsible though. Socially distanced.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you can come over and sit in my front yard and play Skyrim on your Switch.
That's why I bought it on the Switch, baby.
I love that.
He's just gonna.
At first, just that, like I'm gonna. That's why I bought Skyrim.
He's just gonna park his van out front of your house on the street and stare through your front window while he plays it.
Oh man.
So that was your
So I
low.
fucked up
What's your
in a big
highlight?
way.
Yeah, that was your low point. What's your high point?
I don't remember the last time I had a highlight.
Oh,
You know.
We've all just flatlined.
yeah.
Like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know anything. I'm just a blur.
It is Sunday.
Next week's my dog's birthday, though. Birthday party for my dog.
Bring that good boy
Oh, hell
back
yeah.
up into frame. Let's all wish that good boy a happy birthday.
Yes, this could be the highlight of your
Next week,
Yes.
turning 9.
Happy birthday,
Happy
doctor.
birthday,
Happy birthday, doctor. Who's a good boy?
Birthday, Dr. Octopus.
Your name's
Oh.
Dr. Octopus
Damn.
now, isn't it?
That'll be a highlight at least.
There we go.
Enough about me.
What about you, Dan?
I don't know. No specific high points. Been shit posting furiously, doing whatever I can to stay distracted. I helped my friend open a shitty strip mall restaurant in Final Fantasy. Yeah, it's great. It's called Doma Doma Good Time.
All right.
He literally made a menu for it. We have a link that links to the menu that people have to click on, and he really went the extra mile. Like photoshopped a bunch of stuff in. It's great. I am the worthless surly chef in the kitchen who goes on break whenever I want, and if any cat people come into the restaurant and order food, we say we want it motivated style, which means I spit in it.
Please tell me you have a nice.
Helping to fill the void of bartending.
What was that?
Is it helping to fill the void of bartending?
No, not quite. But I did escape my first shift by opening the window in the kitchen, stealing a 6-pack, and climbing out. So it was a good time.
Man.
That's amazing.
Dan,
I also
I'll let you and Kalen fight over coming over here and cracking open this beer for me if you really miss bartending that much.
he wins. He's way closer than me.
Dan just disappears into a puff of smoke and shows up behind you.
But I don't open the beer. I just steal the beer.
I've gotten a shitty tip in so long. I'll do it.
The other thing you'll be glad to know, Ryan, is I finally bought Blasphemous, and I've been playing through that.
Oh,
that game fucking rules.
It is aesthetically on point. It's a little too easy. I was hoping it was gonna be harder.
Hey,
I just watched Kalen's face just like freeze the second you said easy. Is like, yeah, blasphemous, yeah.
So far, the only boss I've died to was Our Lady of the Charred Visage, and I one-shot every other boss.
Shot.
One shot is in like.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. First try.
killed it in the first attempt. Yeah,
Final boss is really tough, though.
good. I want it to be.
Didn't you know that Dan cheats when he plays games? That's how they're all easy. He just enters in God mode and just one-shots them.
The only reason I even died to Lady of the Charred Visage was because I didn't realize you could slap the projectiles back at her. And once I figured that out, it was all right. Cool. This is over. Really good game though. I fucking love it.
It's brutal.
It is gorgeous
DLC
and
come
brutal.
out for that.
And the soundtrack is surprisingly kick-ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of games with kick-ass soundtracks, have any of you guys heard of the game Valfaris or Valfaris? I'm not sure you're supposed to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been in my wish list for a little bit.
It's rad. It's got it's the same company who pretty much just has super cool metal soundtracks for both their games. It's super hammy. It's like I guess you could call it similar to like a Contra style game.
Okay.
Very run and gun. You can get different guns and attachments to use. It's worth playing. It's really good.
It looks fucking cool.
The dialogue is appropriately shitty. It's like action movie shitty. It's like if Blackthorn had good gameplay. That's how I'm put it.
Okay. Wow. Drop Blackthorn on us like that.
Yeah. Look, the only cool thing about Blackthorn is that you can one arm over the back fire your shotgun at people. That was cool.
Forest, you say?
Yes.
So
I believe it's on sale right now.
Or Ryan, did you give us a best part of your week? Do it.
I don't know what the best part of my week was because I don't remember my week. I started playing some Doom Eternal native on my PC. I had been playing it on Stadia, which is all well and good for the TV out there, but when it comes to playing it on the computer, it just doesn't compare. Playing it on this beastly new computer that I bought, like every single setting is maxed out and it's 155 frames per second. And it looks gorgeous, looks great, plays super well. And I just prefer, like, all the spots that gave me trouble in playing with a controller on Stadia, I don't have any problems playing mouse and keyboard. So I am still not, all these years later, still not adjusted to using a controller in a first-person shooter.
PC Master Race.
So I've been playing some games and like, I guess that's kind of been the highlight of my week. Mr. Driller Drill World came out on Switch, and I've always been a huge Mr. Driller fan.
Mr. Driller fucking rules.
I picked up Noita, which I had been wanting to get for a real long time. And that is a ton of fun because it's like taking all those old pixel simulation games that came out on, cell phones and shit, where the black pixels are oil, and the these are the sand pixels, and they interact together and they produce smoke, and then you can do all this. It turns that into a video game where you're a wizard with fucking jet boots or whatever the fuck, and you can get like different wands, and you can load, like, the wands that you have don't fucking matter. Like, they kind of do, but only slightly, because in between levels, so like the wands matter in that they have different slots for spells. And so in between levels, you can actually take spells off of wands and put them onto other wands. And the spells are just what the wand will cycle through when you're holding down the click button. So like, and some of them are random, so they won't sequentially go through the spells that are attributed to a given wand while you're shooting it. But it's a really interesting mechanic. And then aside from that, it's all pixel simulation. So like, you shoot down a lantern or something like that, and if it lands on wood, it's setting that wood on fire, and it's going to slowly, burn through that wood. Enemies, if you shoot an enemy that fucking shoots like toxic stuff, there's this flying enemy that shoots like a toxic ball at you. And if you shoot it, its blood is also toxic, and it starts spewing out in a stream out of it. So you have to kill it faster. Otherwise, it's just around like spewing fucking poison shit everywhere. It's a really cool game. It's seriously fun. So I guess that games is the highlight of my week. That's
Say it again, the name of it?
Noita, Noita.
That's just on the PC?
I think it's just on PC. It's early access still.
Early access.
But it's also pretty low system requirements, probably. Like, if anything, you need to have a good processor for the...
If he's chugging on Discord?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
How long it took me to set up my camera today, Ryan?
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with technical difficulties. That had everything to do with vanity difficulties.
Oh, Avalot, you're the first people to have seen me in months, so we have this.
I'm a musician. I yearn for the attention.
Tyler, how about you?
What was my highlight this week? I'm continuing to play Last of Us 2, which is kind of funny because I didn't really get a lot of time to play this week, but every moment that I've been in that game, I have loved so far. I have not gotten to that part that made everyone mad yet, except for, the main character being a lesbian, which, if that makes you mad, fuck you. But fuck, I love this game. It's one of those games where just walking around is fun because there's just so many details and the, like in God of War, when you're walking around, when you're sailing around and they're they're talking, just a little bit of dialogue that's going on, and building character. Like there's a lot of that in Last of Us 2 as well with Ellie and Dina, and it's just like interesting end of the or post-apocalypse dialogue that's building their character, and it's always fun to hear. And then it's just like even just going into random buildings and looting is fun. Just there's so much around you, and it's so pretty and fun. I love this game. I really do. It's a beautiful, beautiful game, and it scared the fucking shit out of me today. Like
That's a low bar.
I hadn't been scared by this game yet. I was like, I got this. I'm like going around. You know, clickers are fucking terrifying in general. But I like go into this building, and it's like a lot of the times when you go into some of the buildings in Seattle, like they're just like, oh, this is like you're just going in to loot and find supplies, and you're talking with Dina, and it's kind of a low. Like it's not like a stressful situation. Like It's supposed to be kind of a character building moment. And I walk into this bathroom, and a fucking door just slams open, and a infected jumps on me and throws me into the wall and starts fighting me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I have my knife out, and I'm just stabbing it. And each stab, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And my heart's just going a mile a minute. And I just had to pause it and sit there and go, God fucking damn it, for like 5 minutes, because it was terrifying. But I love this game, and I still don't understand the hate yet. I don't get it.
It was Tyler terrifying specifically.
Yes.
We have to stipulate that.
Yeah.
It was a jump scare. It was a
does not mean that it is scary to anyone else.
Scare. That's true. But I do not understand why people do not like this game. It is a lot of fun.
It's the hate train. They were told to hate it, so they hate it. That's it.
Is it just the
I
lesbian
hate
character?
on command.
There's supposedly other things as well, like trans misgendering and things like that, but I don't know any of the real details of it.
Did anyone have complained if Lara Croft was a lesbian?
People absolutely
If she was,
would
like,
have
kissing
complained.
girls.
Yeah, they would have complained for sure.
Stop trying to force your lifestyle on us. Not Christian.
Brooks, what was the best part of your week?
Well, I haven't really played any video games this week, surprisingly. But I'd say the best part of my week has been tearing into this bad boy, the Dying Earth series.
Tales of the Dying Earth.
Which is significant in the fact that D&D totally ripped off its magic use from this guy's books. As far as like wizards that have to study and prepare their spells for a day, that when they use them, then they disappear out of their heads again, and they have to rememorize that shit. Except that it's in a world that's like if Adventure Time was entirely serious, far into the distant future. It's fucking dope.
Oh, so it's a fiction. I was by the name of the by the name of the book. I was just assuming it was a current. It was current nonfiction.
Next year's biography.
Precious.
I've been reading that, and also I finally bought, because I read this fucking magazine, because I still read magazines. Finally got this, so that's my week.
Nice.
Maybe if we read more Esquire, we'd be more stylish.
Hey,
Glasses.
my
Like Brooks.
Mandalorian shirt is extremely stylish.
I'm wearing snailmate chic.
Way to brown nose, Brian.
Yeah, get it.
Look, only once have I failed to wear a relevant shirt when we've had a guest on.
Which one was that?
When Alex Fasciani was on, I did
could
not
you?
have a Beard Bros shirt.
How could you?
It was in the mail. It didn't show up until the next day.
Not the count.
You should film an apology and tag.
Yeah, right.
Just a big
edit it in and
I'm
post.
weeping.
Alex, I'm so sorry. I'm better than this. I know I'm better than this. You deserve better than this.
Oh man. Actually, I just realized a second highlight of my week that is noteworthy. One of my favorite B horror movie studios, I learned, has a streaming service. Full Moon Productions, Full Moon Features has a streaming service. So, like when I was growing up, Puppet Master is like one of my favorite movie series, like always. And there are now 13 Puppet Master movies, one of which wasn't a Full Moon feature. The Littlest Reich was was when they licensed it out to another studio, and that had Thomas Lennon in it and shit like that.
The Littlest Reich?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Puppet Master series is awesome, and it's just B-movie brilliance. But yeah, so they've got all their stuff up there along with all the softcore pornography that they produce on their streaming service.
Well, now you have me sold.
So it's like $60 if you want to pay for a full year. And if you pay for a full year, you get a 12 Blu-ray box set of all the Puppet Master movies plus an Arcana disc. And then you also get a face mask with a Puppet Master character on it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So, yeah,
That's pretty.
like that
Born to
box
be
set
doing
on
that.
its own, sells for 120. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. My favorite series on Blu-ray, all of it, for sure.
Hey, we have another good highlight. The Mississippi
Highlights for children.
Mississippi just voted to remove the Confederate flag from their flag.
Good.
Just like 5 minutes ago. So
Oh, yeah.
hooray for progress.
And Minnesota unanimously voted to disband the police. Minneapolis
Yes.
unanimously, the city council unanimously voted to disband the police.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Trevor, they're so
fucking
tours.
Awesome. They're actually going to like have specialized services put in its place, which is fucking brilliant.
That's so cool.
They're
It'll
just
be interesting.
they're
It'll be
trying
fun.
to beat LA.
It'll be fun to watch them kind of move forward in a new way, like see how that see
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I hope they set the standard. I hope they set the precedent. On that note, thank you everybody for watching and or listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
For having me on, y'all.
Subscribe.